Alright, it's Roger with igadgetgeek, and I have a video, kind of a walkthrough and how-to video. This is regarding the brand new release of the MIUI ROM for the Samsung Infuse 4G. That is the MIUI ROM. I'm not sure if you pronounce it MIUI, but that's how I pronounce it. So let's go ahead and take a look around at first. As you can see here, of course, now here is my lock screen. Now, if you're familiar with MIUI, you'll be familiar with this, but basically I'm going to make this video as if you've never touched the MIUI before. So you'll go ahead and turn this on. Now, if you touch the phone, the actual center there where the clock is, you slide down to unlock. If you touch where the little phone icon is, slide down to open dialer. Over here, slide down to open SMS. Now, as you can see here, I have the extended settings, so you can change your carrier, as I have there my initials. And there you can see my batteries changed. So let's go ahead and just slide this down and take a look at it. Go here to the home page. Now I am using a different widget. This is Fancy Widget. And I'll have a little more description on my website of what all these different widgets and everything that I'm using are. Now the nice thing about the MIUI is the theming. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to go in here to one of my folders where the theming app is. Now this is built into the ROM, and you'll have downloadable themes. You can see here you can go to online themes, and you'll actually be able to scroll through all these themes and download each one of these. And then once you've downloaded that theme, you can go ahead and open it up. As you can see here, it'll give you an idea of what all it changes on the phone. And then you can apply that whole theme. Now, you don't have to apply the entire theme. You can go here to customize, and you can change just the lock screen. Or you can come back here to the home and change the main home layout. You can change just the icons, the status bar, just the font, what the SMS looks like, what the dialer looks like, what boot animation you like. You can change each and every one of those independently, and that'll be able to allow you to create your own custom theme on this phone, which is my favorite part about the MIUI. Of course, you have your ringtones, your notification, and your alarm. And then once you build that custom theme that you like using bits and pieces from, say, 7 different themes or whatever, you can back it up and it'll actually become your default theme, as I have done here. So you can see that is my default theme, and it is actually made up of several different themes all smushed together. So it allows you to do that, which is one of my favorite features of the MIUI. So that kind of covers the theming. Now, one of the other big things that it has that everybody really likes are the folders. As you can see here, you have all these different folders where you can place your icons. Now, adding a folder is real simple. You can go down here to Menu, and you can hit Edit, and it'll kind of go into this edit mode where you can flip through panes. Now, let's say you want to add a folder. As you can see, here's the folder icon. You just drag it onto your desktop wherever you want it. And then once you've done that, you can, of course, back out of there. You can open the folder. Then right there where it shows the little pencil, you can change how it is sorted. You can come up here, you can rename it to anything you want. And just so you know, I am using Better Keyboard with a skin. This is not the stock keyboard. This particular ROM for the Infuse comes with the standard Android keyboard. But I kind of like to have a little bit more of a custom look to mine. Now, to delete any item, you will just press and hold. And then you see the trash can pops up. You just drag it up there, place it in the trash can. Now on the very bottom dock here, these are all changeable. You just press and hold, and you can move anything around, and you can place anything you would like there. As you can see, you have several different home pages. Now I've noticed some questions in the forums about how to change your default home screen. Just do a pinch on the screen. Hang on, I touched my widget. So just pinch on the screen and it'll zoom out. And then you can add however many home screens you would like. See? Now, as you see here, this one has the little home thing highlighted. If you come over here and press the little home, see how it moves? And then you can tell it which one of these you want to be your home screen. And it'll go right back to that one. So that's how you would change your default home screen. And then if you don't want these anymore, you can just delete them. So you can see right here. Let me go ahead and get rid of all these extra homes I don't need. And then we'll go back to my home screen. Now, of course, you too have this drop-down notification bar. As you can see here, this is the toggles. This gives you switches for flight mode, privacy mode, the reboot, the shutdown, the rotation, Bluetooth, GPS, lock, Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth. You also have a notification side. And, of course, there too, that is totally themable. You can change what that looks like. Alright, so let's go ahead and go in here to the settings menu because that's a lot different. Now, before we go into the settings, you can also do a preview pane which takes you in there. Instead of doing the pinch to zoom out, you can go menu, preview, and it'll also take you to that location where you can see all your home screens, or you can pinch, whichever you prefer. So you can go in here to your editor, and that's how you add all your widgets and everything. Now, as you can see here, you have a launcher one. So we'll go ahead and click on this launcher. Now it gives you some of your settings there for the built-in launcher. Of course, you have your wallpaper scrolling on or off, your icon labels on or off, automatically close folders when you exit them. Now you also have your transition effects. Now I personally like the crossfade, but you have the flip down, you have 3D cube. The crossfade, if you look at my icons when I start to scroll, they kind of go transparent, and then they come back where they're not. That is my favorite transition that I use, is that crossfade. But let's go ahead and take a look at settings. Now the settings, as you can see here, is quite different than any other Android settings you might be familiar with. As you can see here, of course, you have sound, which gives you all of your sound controls. You have display, which gives you, of course, all your display adjusting and everything. You have your LED settings. Now that is inherent in the software. The Infuse does not have an LED, but I also use this software on my Inspire, and on my Inspire it works perfectly, for that LED. Now, of course, you have another way to get to your themes is right here, but there too you have a direct icon to take you to that. You have your wallpaper settings, and you have there again your launcher settings. So you can get to it through settings, or you can get to it through the menu button. Your font here, now this isn't changing the font style, this is changing the font size on secondary apps like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any of those secondary apps. This will change the size of the font, like on XDA. You can have a larger font, smaller font, whichever you prefer. Of course, you have your toggle settings. You can have the page view, which is what I use, or you can have this compact view, and then you can go into that compact view. And if you look down here, there's a little line. Everything above this line will be accessible on that page. And then you can, of course, rearrange the order by just dragging and dropping. So you can see now that I'm on that view, instead of having two pages, I just have one, and I have all these at the bottom I can scroll through. So it gives you kind of an option there on which way. I personally like the page, but you can have whichever you like. That's the nice thing about the MIUI ROM, is it allows you to totally customize it. Of course, here's your password, your access control, your My Location, your accounts and syncs. And then you go to System, and under System here you have your airplane mode, your mobile network, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all of those, tether and hotspot, your date and time, your keyboard, your battery. Now under battery, does a neat thing. You can actually come in here to battery indicator style, and you have graphical, which is what most people are used to. You have a percentage, which will be different depending on your theme, but in this one it's kind of a little green orb with a number in it. In this case I'm at 88% power. Then you have top bar, which gives you a graphical bar across the very top of the screen. The more the screen it fills up, the more battery you have left on the phone. Now you also have a monitor power usage and an alarm level. You can set that at what percentage battery remaining the alarm goes off. Now your battery use will keep track of what you are using for how long, and everyone's seen that that's familiar with Android. Now you also have your SD card settings, your USB, your power button. You can do some different settings there with your power button, your dock, and about phone. This is about the actual software. As you can see here, it is the MIUI model number SGI997. It's the Android version 2.3.5. Has a 1.2 gigahertz processor. It has 512 megabytes of RAM. internal storage, SD card, and all of that good stuff. Then you also go to programs, and you got your development settings, your manage applications, and all of that good stuff there. So that kind of gives you a rundown of the actual settings menu and everything. Now, as you can see here, mine looks a little different. I have the carrier changed, and I've moved my clock to the center. To do that, you will need to install a little MIUI control panel. Now, I'll have a link in the description on where you can go and how you can install that. Now, that gives you more battery control, clock options, carrier options, and under the carrier options, it allows you to show the carrier or not. As you can see, when I turn that off, my initials disappeared. You can go down here to custom carrier, and you can put anything in there that you would like to have displayed at the top, which is kind of nice. You can also go in here to your over-scrolling effect, your date format, and all of that good stuff to give you kind of even more control over what your phone looks like. That's the thing, again, I can't stress enough how the MIUI ROM is all about customizing and you making it look the way you want it to look. Of course, the tools it comes with, you have a voice dialer, you have a backup, which is really neat. It allows you to back up that MIUI and create a backup. And then you can restore from that backup. If, let's say, you go off and you try another ROM and you want to come back to the MIUI, as long as you save that file, you'll be able to return everything to the state it was when you made that save. So that's pretty much most of the things. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the gallery. As you can see here, it gives you kind of a neat expanded view here of the gallery. So we'll go ahead and look at my wallpapers here. So you can see there it gives you a really neat gallery. It's a little different than the standard Android gallery. One of my favorite features, though, if you're real big into music, of course you can go here to albums, and you can, let's say we want to listen to Ghostbusters. Now you can flip this over. See, there's your Ghostbusters. Now if you touch on this, it will go into your lyrics, and it'll actually highlight the lyrics as it's singing the song. So to me, that is pretty cool that you can do that. And of course, you have controls from your locked screen and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of been my little walkthrough and demonstration of the MIUI ROM for the Samsung Infuse. And this has been Roger with iGadgetGeek.